Early in my teaching career, I found that blended learning is very valuable to me, and I have found ways to incorporate into my classroom, especially because it helps the individual students more. It helps me reach them, and I'm less likely to have students fall through the crack. When I first started teaching, in my sewing classrooms, I had 43 students. And we were going through projects, and I would start teaching just the traditional way that I had learned how to teach, and that I would do a demo for my students, either have a group of students come around me or project it in the classroom. As I did that, I would teach the students, and I'd go through the tasks for the day, and then they would work the rest of the class period. Well, I quickly found that I would have then a line of students, 10 or 15 students long, waiting for my help and instruction because either one, they were confused, they didn't understand, they were a couple steps behind, so that material that I had demoed that day wasn't really relevant to what they were learning or what they needed to know, or just because they didn't want to listen to me, and so they kind of zoned out and they didn't know what to do. Plus, on top of that, I just needed to grade students as they were progressing along their projects. And what really came down to is I overheard a couple of girls talking one day, and students, and they were saying, "Oh, we never listen to Miss Wakefield when she demos because we just go up and ask her." And I felt like that. I felt like I was a broken record repeating myself over and over again to my students. And I was getting really frustrated because I knew students who weren't as confident, or they were a little bit intimidated by asking teachers questions. They would just sit for a whole class period and not do any work. And I was stuck with my line of students around me. So I knew something had to change. At first, I just started really small, and I created instruction posters. I would take pictures and I'd write detailed instructions that I'd post throughout the classroom. And I'd encourage students that was what they needed to refer to first look to see if they knew what to do. As that went on, that worked, and then I got a class set of iPads, or I think I started just with 10 iPads at first. I decided that I was going to go film the steps. It took a little time up front, but I knew that it was going to pay off in the long run. After I had spent that time and I filmed all my steps of what I would normally do in a classroom demo, I had those videos that students could access. So if they didn't understand the written instructions, and maybe they were more video or a visual learner that they like to see the teacher do it and hear it, then they were able to watch those videos. And so then what my classroom dynamics changed. Instead of having a line of 10 or 15, sometimes I just have a couple, and it was just grading them quickly for their step and then letting them move on. I was able to catch students doing mistakes that would have become really frustrating, or a student that would sit and unpick a project a whole period and just adds to frustration, where I could quickly step in and show them a quick tip on how to do it faster so they could get moving on. So I really found that was helpful, that I was able to catch those students. Also, because that is where students are learning from anyway. They go to YouTube videos, they have patterns and stuff that they read. So for my class, it was important that they learned those skills as well. And so by having that blended classroom, I was really able to kind of multiply myself so that I could reach more students than just me working solely by myself trying to reach them all individually. So I really liked being able to do that. And even though this is how I've done it in my sewing class, I've been able to transfer those same kind of principles into my other classes that I've been able to provided multiple ways for students to get information, so they're not solely relying on a single source, a single time to get that instruction from the teacher.